Welcome. M.A.W. tips in the house. So, I have a tip for y'all. Something that I used. I just haven't did it in this way before, but I tried it today and it works. So I'll be incorporating this in my workflow. Now, if anyone has ever used Awesome, it is totally awesome. Now, we're going to read this together as seen on TV, as you can see, and the uses for it. But before we get into that, let's have this commercial break.
When the real old young, when the real old young, when the real old young, you supposed to ride. When the real old young, you supposed to ride. Else ride, just the way you 1 second, that don't sound right. When the real old young, you supposed to ride. When the real old young, you supposed to ride. Else ride, just the way you 1 second, that don't sound right. When the real old young, you supposed to ride. When the real old young, you supposed to ride. Else ride, just the way you 1 second, that don't sound right. When the real old young, you supposed to ride. When the real
Welcome back. Wagtail's fun, man. I love having Wagtail. I mean, cleaning windows, people look, but when you have a Wagtail, people really look. You know what I mean? Because that thing be wagging his tail all over the glass. You know what I mean? That's that bird, man. That's that bird. People like birds. But anyway, all right, let's read this together. So, for home, it is good for pet stains, walls, woodwork, window frames. This is what you want to keep because it's good to squirt in them tracks. Floors, carpets, upholsteries, ovens. This is good for construction cleanup. Chrome. I didn't know that. Wow. Chrome. Porcelain, fiberglass, tile, linoleum, clothes stains. With business, it's good for stainless steel, walls. Listen, pay attention now, because these uses that I'm saying to you guys, you're going to want to get it based on that alone. All right? So we got stainless steel, walls, machinery, typewriters, adding machine, pressers, floors, equipment, cement, furniture, glass, degreasing is a big one. Door frames, paint on hands, overspray. You hear it? Overspray. Paint overspray. You squirt that on the paint overspray. It's just as well as goof off. But see, this is $1 at the dollar store. You can't go wrong when you're paying $1. You know, white walls, cloth, velour, vinyl, chrome motors, headliners, door panels, convertible tops, rust on windows sometimes too, road tar, oxidation, you hear that? Oxidation, mate. Carpeting and brake dust. All right. Now we're going to talk about ratios. All right. This stuff is strong, and you don't want to just go spraying it on people's frames, especially when they're painted, because you could discolor the framework. So I just want y'all to be mindful of how you use this product. You know, even though it's good for a lot of uses, you have to know those ratios, and they tell you this on the back. All right. For air conditioners, you want to use a 10-to-1 ratio. Aircraft, 10-to-1 ratio. Auto with engine, use it straight. All right. Now, floor mats is a 5-to-1 ratio. White walls is a 2-to-1 ratio. Bathroom, shower, sink is all 5-to-1 ratio. Tub, 10-to-1 ratio. Blackboards, 20-to-1 ratio. Blanket wash, 5-to-1 ratio. Car wash, 50-to-1 ratio. Chrome, 10-to-1 ratio. Cloth furniture, conveyor belts, 10-to-1 ratio. Doors, 5-to-1 ratio. Driveways, light oil, 10-to-1 ratio. Heavy oil, 5-to-1 ratio. Fiberglass, 10-to-1. Floor cleaning, 10-to-1. General cleaning, 10-to-1. Heavily oiled surface, 5-to-1. Now let's go over here to ink. You use that straight for ink. Kitchen stove, 5-to-1. Kitchen stove hood, straight. Marble, 10-to-1. Nicotine buildup, straight. If you're doing cigars, you want to pre-treat the window with this stuff and let that gunk run down. All right? You might want to clean it twice, and you might want to have 2 mops, unless you're just going to keep bringing it out. But we're talking about saving time here. So you have 2 mops, one to smear it around and squeegee it off, and then have another clean mop to clean it again. Because you will probably streak it up with all that gunk, all right? But it will come off easy, all right? Office machines, 10-to-1. Paint oxidation, 5-to-1. Plastic, 10-to-1. Rugs, shampoo, 30-to-1. You can use this for shampoo. Wow, interesting. It's a 30-to-1 ratio with shampoo, because you don't want to go drying your scalp out either. You know, then you'll have your hair falling out because it'll be too frail and brittle. All right? So spotting, 2-to-1. Rust stains, 2-to-1. Smoke damage, 2-to-1. Steam cleaning, 50-to-1 ratio. Tile grout, 5-to-1 ratio. Venetian blinds, this is nice, 5-to-1 ratio. Vinyl furniture, 10-to-1. Vomit remover. Oh, vomit remover. Wow, 5-to-1 ratio. Wax stripping, 5-to-1 ratio. Windows, 120-to-1 ratio. And once I saw that, this is what led me to put it in the water. All right. Let me tell you just what it did. All right. But I just kind of used a smidgen. If you don't know what a smidgen is eyeing it up to the user's estimation. That's a smidgen, all right? If you look it up in the dictionary, I don't care, Google it, all right? Woodwork, 10-to-1 ratio. Wood furniture, 10-to-1 ratio. So let's get down to brass tacks. If you put some of this in your water, because I've been a big fan of ammonia. I always used ammonia in my water, but I haven't in months. Since Corona, I haven't really been working. I just kind of been dealing without it because it ain't really much for me to agitate with, because at my restaurants, they stopped me. But now I'm back in the swing of things. But Sorbo soap and Sorbo Glide removes them fingerprints, surprisingly, better than GG4. But when I put this in my water, what I didn't notice is that it came off in like one stroke. And probably put a little more in there than what I had to. Let's see, I almost had a gallon. I don't put it in my bucket. In my case, it's my trad pack. But I had almost a gallon. I guess I would say I had to put about a tablespoon in there. That's probably a little more than what they recommend, but I'm gonna try a little bit less next time just to see if it would still work in the same fashion. All right, I guarantee you put this into your water, you're gonna want to have it, if not all the time, at least when you're doing those greasy garage doors that I do often. I'll be getting some footage of a Firestone on Monday, and I'll be doing that on a sneak tip, because the general manager district manager, actually. He's going to get me in there. And because he's got a new guy running the store, and the store looks like crap. So just this one time, I got to clean it up until they call me back for the other 15 locations. But get some of this Totally Awesome and throw it in your water. What could it hurt? It's $1. Guarantee you it'll make you holler. It'll make you do the jigaboo. It'll say, hey, Marcus was right. This stuff is great in the water. And I guarantee you it'll get that glass clear, crystal clear. With you and your other solution, you don't want to go crazy with this stuff, all right? Because it probably could have a reverse effect. You know, if you put too much in there and you leave a mark, it's like leaving soap on the window. You know, it'll probably show every turn mark that you do if you have too much of something in there. So you got to have your ratios right. But just play around with it. It's only $1. So worst case scenario, you dump it out and stump the water out and start it over again. Or you just add more water and thin it out. Either one. But you put this in a little pump sprayer. If you're working in places like that, or a restaurant even, you could put some in your pump sprayer. If you like working by a 5-gallon bucket, you can still do that. But have another squirt bottle and you can pre-spray. You hear me? Pay attention. Pre-spray any fingerprints. You should be scanning your windows and mapping your plan of attack before you go in establishment anyway, because you want to see the areas that are heavily soiled that you need to concentrate on the most. This is for you guys that are new. And if you have this, you can either use it straight or you can dilute it. It all depends on what your fancy is. So you squirt the window down, all right? Well, I got it locked, but you squirt the window down on all the windows. If you're working on one side of the restaurant, as you're coming up to the first window, squirt along the way. And on your last window, that's when you can put this away, grab your mop, start mopping it in. You won't have to scrub barely at all, you know? But to see the problem with y'all working that way, you have to wet the whole window. You see, if you have Wagtail's one pass, power pivot, you can pre-spray that. You can wet that pad down and just go right into squeegeeing, because the only thing you should be scrubbing is those fingerprints in the heavily soiled areas, all right? It's no need to scrub the heck out of the whole window, but we do it because we can't squeegee a dry window. But as I said before, you got to work smart, not hard. I don't know how many times before y'all actually really grasp the concept of all my videos of what I've been showing you. I don't show them just to show off. I show them because I'm trying to show y'all how that thing works, how it moves, how quick you can go, how Wagtail is efficient. And some may have grasped that concept and some may haven't. It's like you can't teach your old dogs new tricks. I don't care. Keep working the slow way. You know, it's no need to have two separate tools unless that's your fancy. You know? Yeah, it's okay to use two hands all the time. But trust me, I use two hands all the time too. It's just that I limit the amount of tools in my hands. And I'll alternate hands like every other window. I alternate my left, then my right. So I'm working with two hands. It's not about, that's too much wear and tear on one hand or one arm. Not really. If you really, really knew how light Wagtail was, you wouldn't be saying those things. But you want to know what's heavy? Mormon's mop. That mop holds a lot of water. And they say Wagtail don't hold that much water. But Willie has done that for a reason, because you don't really need, and once you understand Wagtail, you don't really need a whole lot of water, all right? Let's just put it that way. Because you're not going to use it to in the way that most people are thinking. You know, that's a maintenance tool, all right? Even the high flyer, it's good for route work. You know, you're not going to go doing, you can do commercial building, but you just have to dunk it more often than a little bit. But that's where you gotta, work smarter, not harder. So well, I'm not gonna get into all that. All right, y'all know what I'm saying. Y'all ain't stupid. All right, Macafracka, peace, peace, peace. Get some awesome, man. It is awesome.